everybody. We have a very, very full schedule this morning, so we're going to start here just a few minutes early. I want to welcome everybody this morning. Thank you for being here. It's a beautiful sunny morning. I am going to have Pastor Andrew Cook come up and do our invocation here, and then we'll get started with the program.
Thank you, Nita. Let's pray. Father God, we're so grateful for the sunshine today and to be living in an incredible community like we have here in Lapeer. Lord, I just want to pray that your blessing upon every business owner that's here, just all the representatives from different areas of government in our town. Lord, we pray for your wisdom and we pray for your strength. We pray for your peace with everything that's happening in the world. Father God, we want to be a community that shows love and shows you. God, we pray to have your way in this community and with us. We pray you bless the rest of this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Okay, a couple of things, announcements that I want to make. Just reminding members that our next network at noon, which is a lunchtime networking get-together, very relaxed. Lunch is on your own, but it's a great, smaller, intimate group, so you really have a great opportunity to network business to business. And everyone there introduces themselves, talks a little bit about their business and what they do, and so it's a great connection. The next one is June the 3rd at Leo's, Coney Island. I know what you're thinking, oh God, construction, but hey, those businesses are part of the community, they need our support, and it's a great networking opportunity. So I hope that you'll think about joining us, put that on your calendar, and as always, we will send out a reminder about the event. And then we also have June the 18th, we have our after-hour mixer at Buffalo Wild Wings. And that's also a great opportunity to network. It's very relaxed, good opportunity to meet again with other businesses and create new relationships. So mark those dates. We will send out reminders and they will be on our calendar of events. So that is network at noon, June the 3rd at Leo's, and then June the 18th is our after-hour mixer at Buffalo Wild Wings. So just keeping those things in mind. Also this weekend, obviously on Monday, Memorial Day, is the Memorial Day Parade downtown. The lineup starts at 10 a.m. Parade will start promptly at 11 a.m. So afterwards there will be a ceremony after the parade at Veterans Park, and that is across from Immaculate Conception Church. So we hope if you're staying around town for the weekend that you will join us downtown on Monday morning for the annual Memorial Day Parade. Also, fireworks are just around the corner. I know it doesn't seem like it, but July 4th will be here before you know it. I think it's about 5.5 weeks. We have sent out information about donations and sponsorships for the fireworks. This is going to be at Roland Warner School. Again, that's where the actual shoot will take place. There will be some construction on the baseball fields at the former West High School campus. So again, this year we are unable to shoot from that location. So there will be, again, at Roland Warner, ample parking here at Mott. There will be parking at West High School, the main parking lot as well, St. Paul Lutheran, some limited parking at Roland Warner, over here at Chatfield and other surrounding areas, generally where people park. But you will still be able to park at West. Also, with them being shot here at Roland Warner, you really actually have a great view in the north parking lot between Meyer and Appleby to see them. We have, last year, went to a few larger shells as much as we could convert so that the display is a little bit higher, so it'll be a little more visible because there are some trees over in the area, but really isn't much different from, it's just kind of across the intersection. But we're just thankful and happy that the schools have allowed us to make that switch, and it'll be a great display. So we are raising funds for that. It's a $15,000 endeavor, so we need everybody's help if they can. Meyer, again, is our major sponsor. They contribute about 1/3 of that. We're waiting to see what we'll get from our test drive event with Ford Motor Company. We're hoping that maybe we'll see a couple of thousand out of that. So we still have a long way to go in a short time to do it. So the information is also on our website. Sponsorships are also available for Lapeer Days. We are in the planning stages, obviously, of that. We have our headliner for our country night on Friday is Daryl Worley. And then Saturday night, our headliner for rock music is Fran Cosmo. He is a former singer with Boston, was lead singer for a period of time with him, so he'll be doing some of his own music and then some Boston favorites. So we're looking forward to that. We're still in the planning stages, so stay tuned. We have lots of great events, and as always, you know, it'll be a great festival, and we're really pleased to be able to produce this for the community. That being said, I am going to introduce our first guest speaker, Jack Miles from Bear Graphics. Everyone, our timekeeper is right here at the front table, so please be mindful. We have a tight schedule to stay on time. Please hold the mic up to your mouth so that your presentation projects well.
Basically what we're going to talk about is Printing 101. It's a pretty hot topic because a lot of you deal with, just not in your business world, but you also deal in the aspect of sometime you're a volunteer or you're working in the community and you want to get something printed. And basically I'm going to review some of the terminology and some of the stuff you'll run across, and it will help you better when you put a project together. Basically what it is we're going to talk about the terminology you hear a lot is CMYK. CMYK is the inks that they use to make four-color process. And if you remember when you were in elementary school, you used to get inks or paint, and you used to mix it together, and you did what when you wanted to make orange? You took red and yellow, and you mixed them together, and you got a color. That's how the printing industry works, is that if you see right there, those colors, CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black are the only three inks that they use to make four-color process, because ink is transparent. And by the way, I have West here, so I have an expert in the printing industry. I'm sure I'll get mentioned if I miss something. Ink is transparent, so when you see it and it's through reflective light coming down onto the paper or the object up to your eyes, by mixing those colors together, that's how you are able to get your process in it. And I always throw up there, why is it CMYK and not CMYB for black? Well, they put K so nobody confuses it with blue. This is the other concept that we have is called, after CMYK, you have CMYK versus RGB. RGB is what your computer screens are based off of. That is a red, blue, green. And on the example you see up here, you will see the difference of how the processes work. Now, your colors on a computer screen is not going to give you the same colors that you have on a printed material. They're going to be brighter because you're using intermittent light that is coming from behind versus light that's coming out of the surface reflecting up. A lot of times people say, well, oh yeah, that looks great, go ahead and print it, and then when they get it, it doesn't look like what they had on the screen. It's a totally different process of how your eyes are tricked. Your television is, all those colors, facial tones, are three-color of RGB process. So that's the difference between the two when you have a computer that you're looking at, such as a tablet, and your printed piece. Spot color. Now, this is another color that can be used in the sense of it can be combined with anything. Think of your paint chips at a paint store. That is a set color. So you could do four-color process, but let's say you were branding a certain color that you have branded. You have a red, or I'll use Chevrolet gold for their bow tie, or GMC red, or an automotive has a set color that they picked. You can do a four-color process and then be able to brand your color with a spot color. Then the terminology comes to four-color plus one. So that you have that. And those colors are all picked. It's a system called the Pantone system. And what it is they created for the industry all over. If you say, I want PMS 31, which is a red, you will get that exact color on your printed piece. It's just like an ink color. Now we're going to talk about low-res and high-res files, and this is really where the printers and anybody that does it dealing with the businesses have. If you notice on the screen, there's a high-res and a low-res resolution. And that's, we're going to talk about, that's dots per inch. And the television screens work the same way. Why you can have a screen at Comerica that you see everything, their dots per inch are different. Websites, and we get it all the time in the industry, just pick up my graphics from the website. Websites are, again, low-res files, and they don't reproduce printing-wise. If you see up in the screen right here, we have a high-resolution file. We have the water flower on the side, that's a 300 dpi. That's dots per inch. Versus a low-res is only 72. So you see when you have a file, for somebody to be able to produce it and print it, you'll hear terminology as we need a high-resolution file so you're able to reproduce it. Down at the bottom, if you see what I put up there, is you see a star representing different dots per inch. 1 dot per inch, you don't have a star. All the way up to 300 dots per inch, you'll be able to get the reproduction you want. So there's a good example. We also, and I don't know if the screen shows it well enough, but here is a TIFF file. That's a file that you would use for printing. It's specially designed file where you see, you see the two resolutions right here are totally different. And then blurry is the JPEG. Most JPEG files are what are used on the internet. Images. When we talk about images, there are files that printers ask for. And we're going to discuss that. They will want, sometimes a lot of stuff comes in a PDF or a JPEG. And when you deal with printers or they want a high-res file for printing. You also have TIFF files, which are recommended. And you can see the difference in the letters alone if you have a high-res or a low-res font. And then a JPEG, which you can see is blurry. And the terminology of what they stand for, fancy names in there, but those are what the files that are good. When we deal with images, printers or anybody that does a shop wants to have a TIFF file or an EPS file. They are the best files to have. You're going to get high quality graphics and printing. Unfortunately, we don't have them. What files that are not recommended are JPEGs, GIF files, PDF files can be used, and then Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, documents and all that are not what printers can use. They look, now we're going to go back, here's your test. They look great on your screen because you're using RGB where you use a different process when you print. So that's why these are not recommended. And normally if you give somebody a PowerPoint or that, it has to be changed to a TIFF or an EPS file. Let's talk about color paper. Color paper is great. The problem with color paper is most people, you should use white. The problem is, oh, I want a real nice blue paper and I want to print it on black ink. Now you're getting into how the eyes are tricked. When you think about it, now you're putting black on blue, and it's going to change that transparent ink underneath of it and give you a color. So you might like what it looks like on your screen, and you want to go to a color paper. Color papers are good, but be aware of what ink you put on it. Instead of going to a colored paper, what you could do is do a tint of a pink paper, which is an ink. Let's say that we want to use a pink color. Well, what would you do to make it a light pink? You would change the dots per inch on it to make it lighter, and then put a black ink on top of it. So you could eliminate a colored stock, and colored stocks are more expensive, and go to a white stock and make it a two-color process, in a sense a spot color, which is screen, and then a black ink on it. So that's a recommended on color paper. Paper stocks, we all hear it. What kind of, I get it all the time. Well, just put it on anything. Well, there's a lot of papers out there. Let's talk about, you hear bond stock, and a lot of times you'll relate to bond stock is kind of what your copy paper is. That's a bond stock. And the way that paper was devised and why they give you weights, sometimes says, is it an 80 pound, is it 100 pound, is it 10 point, is somebody the same guy that said all paper's 8.5 by 11. There's just why. We still haven't figured out. I think in Europe it's 8 by 10 is their standard cut sheet. They took a 17 and a half by 22, stacked 500 sheets, and that's how they weighed it, and that's how they came up with the system of how they do the weight of the paper. Bond stock, you got a 20-pound bond copy paper, 24-pound is usually a little up. Then you have book stock. Book stock is maybe a better paper, but you see it in magazines, you see book stock in newspapers. Text stock is a little bit higher weight. It's a little bit thicker. It usually has different types of glosses on it. When they run paper through a press, they can literally actually buff the paper, and that's what gives it shines on it. You have cover stock, which is a little bit heavier. A lot of times you'll have a magazine that has a little bit of heavier stock. Sometimes they'll put a text stock on top that's heavier, and then inside put a bond stock. There's all different ways to do it. But basically, the heavier the stock is, the more expensive it is because of trucking and moving it around. So you look at it, the aspect of what stocks you have. Most print houses, they'll ask for samples of stocks, and they'll show them to you so you'll be able to do it. Most people take stock and they rub it like this in their hand, and that's how they talk about, well, that feels good. That's the stock I want. But they do that by thickness. Now let's talk about the printing process. A lot of you, there have been a lot of changes in my lifetime on that, but let's talk about the good old days where it was called a letterpress. Letterpress was the old days where they had raised type. Think of your rubber stamp that you used to have in the old days that had a raised. Letter was the very first way it did, and all it was a plate somehow pressed onto a piece of paper, sometime by a cylinder, or in the old days it was just you've seen the old newspapers that they laid out type on it, and then they pressed it on that. That's the way the printing industry began. That's a letterpress. You don't see very much of this unless it's high-end printing and they want to go back to a retro type look. Offset printing. Offset printing is pretty much what the majority of it, the technology is nowadays versus digital. And what is offset printing is that they use they use a system of ink, oil, and water doesn't mix, and ink is an oil. So the process, the way it works is, the reason it's called offset is they have a printing plate, an image that the plate was made, and that is made in a negative format. As it rolls onto the blanket right here, it transfers the ink, and ink sticks to the area where the image is. And if you looked at this image real here, it would have all the little dots for our dots per square inch, and it would go there and transfer onto the blanket. And then if you notice that the offset cylinder, or where the paper runs through, then it transfers back onto the paper. That's where you get the offset. So you go positive to negative to positive. And that's how the printing process, majority of industry works right now, is offset printing. And it's a technology that's been around a long time, and it's a good technology because you can do larger runs that way. Let's talk about digital printing. Digital printing has really made strides, and it's pretty much, when you talk about, it's like photocopying. Nowadays they have digital printing where you have toner application, dry toner or wet toner, and you'll be able to print digitally. The advantage of digital printing, they've eliminated the plate process. In the old days, you had to create a plate and burn negatives first, and take the negatives, put it over a plate, burn the plate, and there was a lot of steps. Now, because of the digital age, process plates are made right out from an image. They don't do negatives very much anymore. They actually print a plate. Well, in digital printing, everything is done right on the piece of equipment. Let's talk about photocopy versus printing. They're both great tools, and they are great avenues to use when you're making a decision of a print process. Say you need 1,500 black and white copies or 500 copies of a full sales sheet. Digital printing or photocopying at a print shop is a great tool to go. The prices are usually set at one firm price, or you get a firm price off a discount, and it's a real good way to get it done. Also, a quick turnaround. You can get digital printing, you usually can get it in 24 hours or the same day in small quantities. Where it changes is when you do photocopying versus printing. Photocopying includes digital printing. You got time, fast turnaround. Money typical, it's a fixed price, as I talked about. And your quantity on photocopiers really came a long way. So you can get some pretty good quality on photocopying. But your paper choices are a little bit down. You've got to stay with a bond, or you might have to buy a gloss, or you might have to bring your own paper in. So you're limited on your stocks, but again, quick turnaround for your project. Let's talk about printing versus photocopying. Printing usually takes longer. Once your proof's approved, you have probably usually turn around 5 to 7 days, sometimes 10 working days. But what you get is now you're using that CMYK process. You'll be able to increase your stocks, maybe go to a gloss, go to a matte finish, and be able to increase the quality of it, and maybe be able to get a better. You've all seen when you look at a flyer in the bags, a toner applications versus a printed application. You can tell. So you might want that image down the line. We have screen printing out there. Screen printing is what t-shirts are made, and it's a very simple process where they lay down ink onto a screen and they drag it across, and then if they want another color, they then load ink on another screen and they drag it across. And if you see this piece of equipment on the side, that's high-end, how to do t-shirts, banners down the line. So there's a process called screen printing. There's also engraved printing, thermal graphic printing. Anybody ever seen a business card that has raised letter on it? They use an ink and they put a powder in it, and then when they heat that powder, expands the ink and you get that thermographic. Flexographic printing is used in the label industry. It's actually a rubber plate, almost like letterpress that prints onto substocks. What do printers need to know? A lot of times we get to know, please, what is it going to cost for 500 flyers? Well, we have all these variables we just talked about. What's the name of the project so they're on the same page you are? What is the size of it? 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17. How many colors? Is it going to be 2 spot colors, black and orange, or is it going to be process color? How many pieces do you want? What type of paper do you want? The material or the supply to printer. Are you going to give them camera-ready copy, or do they have to design it? When do you need the project delivered? That's so important. Your printers, any printer will have recommendations. They might have specials on stocks down the line to help you out. But to ensure that your quote compares to other quotes, prepare yourself. Or ask the printer that you deal with, what do you need from me to put it together? I want to thank you very much for the short time. I'm on time too, 30 seconds. If you want a copy of this presentation, don't hesitate to email me that, or like me on Facebook at Bear Graphics of Michigan. Thank you very much for your time, and everybody have a great holiday.
Thank you, Jack. Oh, I'm going to use my microphone voice. Our next guest speaker this morning is Molly Muir. She is from Hurley Medical Center, Mid-Michigan Midwifery. Come on up.
Good morning, everybody. So, I'm very excited to be here from Hurley Medical Center and to introduce a new service that we're bringing to Lapeer of certified nurse midwifery care. A lot of you probably wonder what a certified nurse midwife is, and that's something that I'm going to talk about. I was born, raised, live in Lapeer, raised my kids in Lapeer, so I'm very excited to bring this service here. Those are our midwives. I'm one of the midwives. So, certified nurse midwife's philosophy of care. Nurse midwives focus on prevention and education. We care for women across the lifespan. We view pregnancy as a normal process. We provide compassionate, family-centered care. Encourage women's participation in decision-making of their health care. We judiciously use technology and intervention. ACOG is American Academy of Obstetric and Gynecologists, which are physicians, and ACNM is American Academy of Nurse and Midwives. So we have a joint statement together. Our joint statement is that between the two of us, we need to provide highest quality and seamless care. OBGYNs and CNM should have access to a system of care that fosters collaboration. So your guys' familiarity is probably with an OBGYN or a physician. And what I'm going to talk about is the certified nurse midwife portion of that. So what is a certified nurse midwife? A certified nurse midwife is an individual educated in the two disciplines of nursing and midwifery. We provide independent management of women's health care. We provide prenatal care, we deliver your babies, and we provide postpartum care. We provide routine gynecology care, family planning, yearly health maintenance exams, and care during menopause. What I would say the biggest thing you'll notice if any of you see a nurse practitioner or a PA, you're going to notice the type of visit we spend with you. So your physician may see a higher number of patients. You might notice they're in and out a little quicker. We're going to tend to spend a little more time with you, sitting with you, getting you involved in your health care. We want women to be educated and participate in their health care. We believe that birth is normal. We promote health and prevention of disease versus taking care of the disease once it occurs. What are our credentials? Especially in this community, there's kind of a misconception when I say I'm a certified nurse midwife. People say, oh, do you deliver babies at home? No, I deliver babies in a hospital. So nurse midwives are actually very educated people. So you start with, we are registered nurses with a bachelor's degree. I went to U of M for my bachelor's degree. Then we apply to a master's program. There's two programs in Michigan. There's U of M, Wayne State. I went to U of M Ann Arbor for my master's degree. We then finish our master's degree. We take a national certification exam, and then we maintain conferences to maintain your license. So there is a lot of education behind what a certified nurse midwife does. So certified nurse midwives have Master's of Science in Nursing with emphasis on maternal and child health. In our current practice, we have several of our midwives who actually have a DMP, which they have their doctorate degree in nursing. I'm also a women's health nurse practitioner, so I went back to U of M and did a postmaster's to become a women's health nurse practitioner. And we all have advanced fetal monitoring certification. All of us have passed boards, and we have to maintain those licensures every year to stay certified. One nice thing at Hurley is we work very closely with the maternal fetal medicine specialists, which is the high-risk OB doctors. So all of us have done advanced training in ultrasound. So if you come into my Lapeer office or if you come into Hurley, we do ultrasounds and have that training, which can be very beneficial as well. So at Hurley currently, what happens is we have an OB triage emergency department. So just like if you were to go into the emergency room, you would see a physician, you would see a PA. What happens at Hurley is you always see a midwife. So that's the first person you're going to see who's going to assess you. We then speak to the physician or the midwife on call. Again, we work with high-risk physicians. So Hurley is a tertiary hospital, so we have a lot of high-risk patients. So we do rounds for the maternal fetal medicine physicians, where their eyes and ears, we collaborate with them. We teach medical students, so Hurley is a big residency teaching program, so those physicians actually need to learn how to do normal birth and become good physicians. So actually the midwives are part of their education. We're staff at Michigan State to teach them that as well. And we do a lot of research projects being at Hurley as well. So what do I do in a day? I think a lot of people don't really understand what our job is. So we have two settings. We have an office and we have a hospital setting. So we have an office in Lapeer and Grand Lake. I might be in the office seeing patients all day. I may be at the hospital in triage, or I might be on call for 24 hours. For like this weekend, I'm on call Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So whoever comes in and has a baby, I'm the one that goes and does their delivery. We see patients in the office and work an 8 to 10 hour day, just like you would go to a doctor's appointment, but you would see us. So we run behind too, like the physicians. We try not to, but that's the reality of what happens. In the hospital, we see patients in OB/ER, taking care of them in labor and delivering their babies. We see our patients in the hospital after they have delivered, and we complete the orders to have them go home, discharge them, follow up with us. I think a big misconception too is, do you write prescriptions? Can you order tests? I have a DEA number, I write prescriptions, I order any diagnostic tests you need, just like a physician does as well. And I think that can be confusing for people as well. We carry a pager, we answer calls from patients 24 hours a day. And in the hospital, like I said, we work 8, 12, and 24-hour shifts. This is Lyric and me, one of our midwives, just kind of part of what we do, caring for families that seek out midwife care. So we're very diligent about teaching. I think a lot of people in this day and age have concerns about their health care, about they're maybe not educated on what their choices are. They don't feel like they have a choice. So part of our job is to educate you, give you your options, and help you be a part of that health care. We participate in quality improvement projects. We keep track of our data, what our C-section rate is, what our vaginal delivery rate is, what our complication rates are. And then you try to improve your practice based on that, which is the same as benchmarking. We have an office now in Lapeer at Lapeer Hurley facility, which is north of town, just past the credit union. And then we also have an office in Grand Lake, which is the old Damon's that really took over and put new space in there. Do we only see pregnant women? No. So a lot of people I will see in the grocery store, and I'll chat with them, and they'll be like, well, I don't need to see you, I'm not having babies anymore. We do more than just take care of women who are having babies. We see women for their yearly physicals, contraceptive counseling, screening for health concerns, gynecology, menopause. So we take care of women from birth through menopause. Once pregnant, we take care of them just like you would have seen your obstetrician. We see you for your initial visit. We see you every 4 weeks. We see you every 2 weeks. We see you every weekly at the end. Part of our visits include nutrition counseling, non-pharmacologic pain reliefs, pain med options, vaginal birth, breastfeeding information, and labor support. So misconceptions, there's a lot of misconceptions. If you come to me, you can still have an epidural, you can have whatever you want. Again, my job is to educate you in how you'd like your birth to happen, but not to restrict you. So women who come to us still have pain meds, they still have epidurals. That's a big misconception, midwives first don't get to have an epidural. We do have some patients that come to us because they don't want that, and we tend to be there in labor to kind of guide them through that because we know those are wishes, but we have a high percentage of patients that do get epidurals. Midwives are educated people who practice evidence-based care, where I think there's a huge misconception that we wear Birkenstocks and our hippies and deliver babies outside. So that's my main thing to let you guys know. That is not the case. So are there any other types of midwives? So there are other types of midwives, and I think that's where in smaller communities we tend to struggle with where we fit in. You've probably heard the term a lay midwife. So there are women who are apprenticely trained, meaning you may do births and you go watch this person do births, and then you choose to do births at home. They don't usually have education. They have, like we said, apprentice type of education, but not a formal education. They don't take insurance coverage, those type of things. That's what the typical lay midwife is. What a certified nurse midwife is, we have to have master's degrees in nursing. 98% of our births are done in hospitals. 2% of home births, if you go down to like the Ann Arbor area, there are some certified nurse midwives that would do home births, but 98% are in the hospital. I have insurance numbers, I bill for insurance, I get reimbursed for insurance. So I think that's a big difference, just so you know that. Okay, so what happens if your pregnancy becomes high risk? Because all people may start as a low normal pregnancy, and then things change. So that's the very good advantage of us being involved with Hurley Medical Center is we have physicians available who we collaborate with. So let's say you become diabetic or you have high blood pressure or things that risk you out of my service. During the course of obstetric care, certain conditions may develop requiring transfer. So our physicians are board certified physicians at Hurley, so we would facilitate transfer of care to a physician who would then take over your care. A lot of times because of our collaborative relationship, we would still co-manage you because they have a relationship with us. So just because they end up on insulin at 28 weeks, they still would like us to be there, and so we do that together with our physicians. So that actually works out very nicely for patients. In conclusion, Mid-Michigan Midwifery at Hurley Medical Center participates in interdisciplinary teamwork with physicians, residents, and nurses. There's our midwives again. So that's all I have for you. Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Molly. Some great information. Very impressed with our medical community, and Hurley is making great strides to, I think, enhance and improve the medical community and what's available to our residents in Lapeer County. Our next sponsor, or our first sponsor, Mo Abanej from Dort Federal Credit Union. Come on up, Mo. I probably didn't say that right, did I? Is it Abanaj or Abanej? Abanaj. I'll get it right next time, I promise.
Good morning, everyone. I have no formal presentation. I'll just shoot from the hip here. My name is Mo Abanaj. I'm the branch manager at Dort Federal Credit Union. If you're not familiar with our location, we're right down the road on DeMille Road, right across the street from Blindfish and Meyer. We've been there about 7 or 8 years now, going on 8, 7.5, and we still open new accounts where a lot of people didn't even realize we're there. So it's a different layout in our branch. We have what we call RTS, remote teller stations. So you don't have the traditional lineup of tellers. It's a nice cubicle, if you will, flat screen monitor. Our tellers are in an isolated location for security. We're happy to be a part of Lapeer community. We do support the chamber. We work with the Habitat for Humanity. We're a big sponsor and work with them. And we do try to support local business. On the business side, we offer commercial loans, business services, payroll services, merchant services if you take a Visa credit card. And then on the individual side, we're aggressive in our lending. We are a credit union, so we're able to offer lower interest rates on loans and typically higher rates on investments, although rates are low right now across the board for CDs and IRAs. We have auto loan rates as low as 1.99. And currently we're running a promotion on Visa balance transfers of 2.99 with no balance transfer fee for up to 12 months. If you're a member of Dort Federal and you stop in and you mention you were at this event, we can pull a free credit report and give that to you for review. If you'd like to become a member, as long as you live, work, or worship in Genesee County, Lapeer County, you're eligible for membership. We can open up an account for you with as little as $5. There's no monthly fee. And we're just proud to be out here in Lapeer. Again, we're aggressive in our lending. We have plenty of reserves. If you have less than perfect credit, we try to work with you to get you back on track. So in 6 to 9 months, you can be qualified for whatever type of loan you're trying to get. We offer a variety of loans. We've kind of positioned ourselves to be one-stop shop for your financial needs. We have mortgages, visas, auto loans, RV loans, and also one of our newest type loans is student loans. So if you ever need a loan or need a checking account or anything of that nature, feel free to stop by, ask for me. It's a little cheesy, but it works. If you forget my name, just tell me you want to speak with Mo Money. Thank you.
I want more money.
Andrew, can we start our PowerPoint?
Thank you, Mo. Thank you very much. Our member focus is Karen Peterson from Central Michigan University. Come on up here, girl.
Good morning, everyone. As Nita said, I'm Karen Peterson. I'm with Central Michigan University's Global Campus in Flint. Many people don't realize, but CMU's been in the Flint area for over 35 years. Our current location is off Hill Road. We're at the junction of US 23 and I-75. And we offer graduate courses on site, nights and weekends, in 8-week compressed format. So we're kind of geared toward the working adult, the non-traditional student. We also offer some online programs at the undergraduate as well as the graduate level. So for our online students, we're considered their service center. We proctor exams, we have advising, we can answer financial aid questions, so we're kind of their first point of contact. Today I would like to talk about one of our graduate programs that we're really excited about bringing back to the Flint area. It's our Master of Arts in Counseling degree. And with that degree, there's 2 different tracks you can specialize in. You can go with the professional counseling, or you can go into school counseling. It's a 48 credit hour program, and it's scheduled to start in Flint January of 2016. So we're currently recruiting for that program. It will be held in a cohort format, so we're recruiting a certain number of students, and that group of students will go through the program together. It's about a 2.5, I believe, or maybe 3-year program. It would be offered in a weekend format, so Friday evenings and Saturdays, again, to accommodate the working adult. If you'd like to learn more about this degree and what it can do for you, we're going to be holding an informational session on Wednesday, June the 3rd, from 4:30 to 6:30 at our CMU Flint Center. Our address is 5161 Gateway Center, and we're in Suite 100 there in the Gateway Center, as I said. There will be continuous presentations throughout that 2-hour span, and we hope to have our director of that program as well as our advisor there. So if folks would like to come out and learn more about the Master of Arts in Counseling degree, it's a great opportunity for you to come, learn about the program, maybe ask some questions. There is an internship component of that program, so there's usually a lot of questions on the front end from students who will try to figure out how they can juggle that with their full-time job. So again, if you're interested and would like to come out for our informational session, that's going to be Wednesday, June the 3rd from 4:30 to 6:30. You can go to our webpage and RSVP for that event. Our webpage is www.global.cmich.edu, or you can give us a call at the Flint Center. Our phone number is 810-235-7530. Thank you for your time this morning, and fire up chips.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you very much. Okay, our next sponsor, Rachel Ackerman from Office Depot. Come on up here, Rachel.
Thank you, Nina. Good morning, everyone. All right, so just have a couple things that I'd like to let everybody know about. All of you here as chamber members do get a chamber discount with Office Depot. So if you don't have one of these cards, Nita and the lovely ladies at the chamber can hook you up. These get you up to 20% discount on a variety of things: copy services, merchandise, furniture, all that kind of stuff. And these are exclusive discounts for chamber members only. So make sure that you have one of these and use it every time you come in addition to your Office Depot rewards. We do offer merchandise credit. You get these little cards that show up in your email. You can get up to $10, I think, quarterly for different recycling programs, all of that. And all that money acts as cash at our store. So it's a great discount. It's got a lot of benefits. So if you have any questions about that, please come and see me. I'm really excited to get, everybody getting the bang for their buck out of that card. Also, we do have a copy center. We have, promotional literature we can do for you, banners, all kinds of stuff, especially with the construction. Having those signs out in different strategic locations can really make a difference for you. The biggest thing that we have coming up that I want to let you guys know about is in your packet. So we have a free Windows training event. Our lovely rep Elise is going to be coming out to do basic overview, but also go a little bit in depth on what you guys would like to see and learn about Windows 8. So we do have Windows 10 coming out later this year, but this training is specifically geared to Windows 8. So if you can RSVP to us, we do have some, limited space. We probably have about a quarter of it signed up. So refreshments will be provided. It'll be a great opportunity to network as well as ask questions directly to Microsoft. So we want to thank you guys. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you in the store.
Rachel, I have one question. Can you explain, because I know I get questions from members when we talk about the Office Depot, the store purchasing card, and they say, well, I already have an account, or I already have a rewards card. But the store purchasing card is the discount you get immediately right at the register. It's different where rewards build, correct?
Correct.
So it isn't, and it has to be used at the store. Now, as I understand it, the cards can be used at any Office Depot store, correct? So if you're out and about traveling or whatever, and you're, or you don't live in Lapeer, maybe you work here, your business is here, but you live outside of the Lapeer area, if you go to an Office Depot, if it's in Genesee County or wherever, you can still use that card, so make the most of it. We always send these out to new members, and then a lot of times if you have staff changes and whatnot, those cards disappear, and then people go, oh, I didn't know about that. So it is a reminder right on the website. So if you don't have those, we do have a few here in the registration boxes. If you don't have one, be sure to pick one up. So thank you. Okay, we have now our next sponsor, Matt Wiersbicki from Mass Mutual Financial Group. Come on up, Matt.
Thank you, Nita. Good morning, everybody. My name is Matt Wiersbicki. I'm here representing Mass Mutual Financial Group. This is my first time introducing myself to such a large group. I appreciate you attending this morning. As a representative of Mass Mutual, I represent not only Mass Mutual, which is a Fortune 100 company, financially strong and highly rated, which is crucial in being able to back both financially and legally the products and services we can deploy to our clients. We help navigate the financial sector for our clients to be able to best position them depending on their particular goals. We not only help protect them should they pass, we help protect their family, their business, their future financial goals. We offer life insurance, annuities, disability income insurance, and other various products to help their particular situation. I work with a network of other financial professionals, so if I can't personally help you with your particular situation, I know somebody who can. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. And again, all of our sponsors have information in more detail in your Wake Up Lapeer bags, along with your little goodies and giveaways and what have you. Our next sponsor, View Newspaper Group, also our major sponsor of the Lapeer Days Festival. Again, yay, hooray. Emily Caswell, come on up here, Emily.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Emily Caswell. I'm the brand manager at View Newspaper Group. As many of you know, we publish the Lapeer Area View and the County Press. We also publish 12 other community newspapers in Genesee County in the Thumb region. The County Press celebrated 175 years last year. In general, though, we are anything but old-fashioned at our company. Of course, we have a website and social media, like many of you out in the audience have. But we believe that print is what we do best. And so instead of saying, well, print, that's old news, let's find something new to do, we've actually found new and innovative ways to do what we do best. And I brought two of those examples today. Some of you have them in your bag, and hopefully all of you receive them in your home as well. The first one is our Farm to Table publication. And that is a magazine-style publication focusing on the farm-to-table concept that so many of us have heard about. We printed one in May. There'll be one in July and September as well to look forward to. The other piece is a custom publication piece we did with Ray C. in honor of his grand opening of his Lapeer destination store on M24. That piece was a great opportunity for vendors to thank Ray for their work on the project, for Ray to thank the vendors, and also a great way to let the community know everything that was going on during their weekend-long grand opening celebration. Coming next weekend, you will see our new Welcome Summer publication, and this is something you may have seen before, but we've changed it this year, and it will have more of the look and feel of the farm-to-table product. It's a little bit more magazine style. There's still an opportunity to be part of that today if you're interested. Find Joe or Carla or Pete, and we can get you in there. We've kind of changed it, not only the look and feel, but we've upped our editorial content. Our thought behind doing pieces like Welcome Summer and Farm to Table is that there'll be pieces that you'll keep on your coffee table, pieces that you'll reference throughout the year if you're looking for a recipe or wondering where we said you could get great pizza on the west side, or to remember the dates of Lapeer Days, for example. We're proud to be an old company doing new things. We're proud to be an established company continuing to do what we do best. We tell stories, we make connections. We hope that if there's anyone in this room considering their next marketing opportunity, that you come see us, whether it be a custom publication piece or traditional print ad. We have a lot of ideas and a great team. We're happy to be here to help you. We are your local marketing connection. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Emily. Okay, Mr. Jim McComb, come on up here, our first nonprofit from the Kiwanis Club of Lapeer. Did you know you were speaking today?
I knew I was.
Emily did it. Emily did it. She did it.
Greg did it.
Yeah, the president of Lapeer Kiwanis Club, Miss Emily Barber, threw me under the bus this morning. I thought we were doing this together, but I'm Jim McComb. 3 minutes left. Okay, better get to the point. Jim McComb. I am past president for Lapeer Kiwanis Club and owner of McComb Mining and Company. And what we're here this morning is to talk about our annual golf classic that we put on each year. We're having it this year at the Metamora Golf and Country Club. The nice part about that is it's semi-private. Not a lot of people get to play in Metamora. It's a beautiful course, and they treat us very well down there. So with our golf outing, you can get the opportunity to come and play Metamora. There is a flyer in each of your packets there that you can look at. But the really unique part about our thing is it's a string, what do we call it? A string scramble. So what you've got is 18 inches of string that you can purchase. And if you hit your shot within 18 inches of the hole, you can use this to make that as a finished putt, finished hit, whatever you want to call it. If it's a little bit shorter, cut it off. You've got this much for your next shot. So I want to thank you for letting me come and speak. Please sign up. We really appreciate it. Our club is putting over $40,000 a year back into the community, all for kids. And if you want to join our little band of married gentlemen and men, we meet on Wednesdays at the Center Building. If you have any questions, come see Emily or myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Our next nonprofit, Goodwill Industries of Mid-Michigan, and we have Mandy Thornton here to represent them.
Thank you, Nita. So my name is Mandy Thornton, and I am with Goodwill Industries Mid-Michigan. Goodwill's mission is to assist individuals with barriers to employment into the transition into independence and self-sufficiency. A lot of people don't know that our retail stores finance a lot of our work programs. We are always taking donations, and we'll take donations pretty much whatever you've got. We recycle everything that we cannot sell in our stores. And we do job placement within the community. We're always looking for other businesses to help us out with job placement. Ooh. Sure.
Is that it?
That's it. I have to tell you, those cards are a little bit intimidating.
They keep you on track, though.
Right?
And also, don't forget, we have a great new Goodwill store here, opened, gosh, it hasn't even been a year. It was just late last fall. Really nice store, big, wide aisles, brand new dressing rooms, really a great store. And they do get a lot of new merchandise from some of our big box stores who do some clearance, but it's brand new in the store, and you just cannot beat the price, and it's just a great way to give back to the community and help support what Goodwill does for the community.